Welcome back to Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet. I'm Josh.
And I'm Kristie, and I don't know about you, but wedding drama is my favorite kind of drama. So I found 6 stories where the wedding drama is so intense that people got uninvited from the wedding.
So let's jump into the first one.
Am I the asshole for uninviting my best friend from my wedding because she kept telling people she dated my fiancé first?
Even if that's true, that might not be something you need to advertise to everybody.
Izzy, 27 female, and I, 26 female, have been friends since we were born. We were practically raised together. We were closer in college, but after that, we've been drifting apart a little, but I still had a strong bond with her up until recently. She has been there for me a lot, and I have too, so it's tough, the situation. After college, when Izzy was like 23, she went on a few dates with Jake, my fiancé, but then told him she wasn't interested in anything serious. Even though I was her best friend, I didn't really know Jake because she used to get asked out a lot, but only a few turned serious. So I knew about her boyfriends, but not necessarily her dates. Almost a year after that, I moved in with Izzy, and so we got close again. It was after this that I met Jake. We quickly became good friends. I used to talk about him to Izzy a lot, but it's when I showed her his picture that she recognized him and told me about her dates with him.
Sorry, how many dates are Opie and Jake in at this point?
No dates yet, just good friends.
Oh, okay.
Friendships were more important to me than any guy back then, so I asked her if it was okay to date him because I liked him a lot. She said she had no problem and joked about it ever turning into a relationship, which I took as a joke. Jake and I became serious very quick. He is my soulmate. By then, though, Izzy and I had lost touch a bit since I moved in with Jake, and work became more of a priority. Right until we got engaged, she used to still joke to both me and Jake that she didn't think we would be this into each other, and at that time, I saw it as funny because Jake is the opposite of me. After I got engaged, she became very weird. She was very shocked and would not believe it. Then later, she used to tell me I'm too young to be married, and if I'm sure. But I saw this as just concern. Although she agreed to be my maid of honor along with my sister.
It does kind of sound like these things that you were waving off as jokes maybe weren't jokes.
Afterwards, I posted on my Instagram about our engagement and people were reposting it and congratulating us. But Izzy just captioned it saying, "You better mention me in your vows because he was into me first, haha."
I'm not sure I like that. You really shouldn't be turning an engagement announcement into something about yourself.
Someone else's engagement announcement. Yeah, that should not be about you.
Just congratulate the happy couple. Sounds like you had your shot.
Jake felt very uncomfortable, and so did I, but I defended her, saying that it's just Izzy, she jokes around a lot. But I still let her know that it was a bit uncomfortable, and she said that she was just joking. After Christmas, we hosted a dinner party, and that day, Izzy just kept telling all the friends and family gathered that Jake dated her first, and she let me have him. Stuff like that.
Sounds like Izzy's going through some sort of crisis now that her friends are starting to get married off.
Even after telling her it was not okay, she joked around. Later, I told her that she was crossing my boundaries and that it was not okay, to which she said I was overreacting. In the end, I told her not to attend my wedding at all.
I mean, it might be for the best. I can't imagine the maid of honor speech she would give.
I have been overthinking a lot after that. Right now, people who know about this are just choosing sides based on who they know more. I'm worried I'm ruining a lifelong friendship when I'm not even right. What if to her it really was just a joke and I'm not being understanding? But she is not being supportive or positive, which I think is unfair. So I'm confused. Am I the asshole?
I don't think you're the asshole, especially because you very calmly, sounds like, went to her and said, "Hey, I don't really like that you're making these jokes so often. Can you stop it?" And her response was, "It's just a joke, bro." Anytime somebody defaults to the equivalent of "it's just a joke, bro," they're probably the asshole.
You're just overreacting. You are far too sensitive. I'm just joking.
Yeah, no, that means that you were being mean and you don't want to admit to it.
Top comment agrees with you. NTA, I think that she loses any right to claim it was just a joke when you've expressed that it makes you uncomfortable and asked her to stop. You have every right to enforce your boundaries, even if that means ending a lifelong friendship. If she was a good friend, she would value your feelings over her need for attention, which is clearly what this is about, in my opinion. Also, it's weird that people are choosing sides in this. There is literally no reason for it, and they should really start behaving like adults.
Yeah, and you know what? You're allowed to be a little spoiled on your wedding day. I think that that is something that most people agree with. The bride and groom get to be a little spoiled and just not have any drama in their lives on this day. Like, if you have that one friend or family member that's going to make a speech and just ruin the whole wedding and put like a black smudge across all of your memories of that day, I'm a big fan of saying, you don't have to attend.
I think Izzy's real problem is that Izzy is the one that is used to attracting all the male attention. Like, she got asked out on a lot of dates, right? That's what her friend said.
Yeah, I agree. It sounds like she's not happy that OP's getting married first.
Yeah, and now OP's getting married first, and a guy that she was like, he's not good enough for me. And turns out he's actually a great guy. Her friend's marrying him, and she's like super jealous and kind of regretful.
Which is an okay emotion to feel, but you shouldn't be vocalizing it, at least not to the entire internet. Like, it's okay to feel a little bit of jealousy when like your friends are starting to, have big life events and you haven't quite hit that stage yet. That's normal, but you need to be mature enough of a person to be happy for them anyways. And just go to the wedding and smile and clap and shut up.
Another comment, NTA. I think she put you into a super tough position. You asked her to stop and she wouldn't, and so she kind of forced your hand. Those statements are awkward AF. I'm sure those who heard her joking about it found it odd, but also really diminishing of your relationship. The other things you mentioned, her shock and denial of your engagement, also suggest that she is kind of mentally hung up on this, and that's too bad, but not your fault.
Yeah, it's really not your fault, OP. She kind of put you in this position, and you had to act.
She's too prideful to let things go. In her eyes, you found love in a man she dismissed, and that is simply not possible. Hence, she's there saying, I was here first. In my opinion, you made the right choice. Who knows what kind of behavior she'll display when her pride will turn into jealousy at a crucial moment. NTA. Yeah, I agree with that, and I think you're right. Like, I shudder to think about what kind of maid of honor speech she would give.
That's always my concern when it's somebody this integral to the wedding that's being the asshole. Like, yeah, you could let them still attend the wedding and still let them be your maid of honor, but the maid of honor is in a unique position to do the most damage of everyone at the wedding.
And you just don't want that on your wedding day. It should be about you and your partner and your love, and not like your friend being like, I dated him first. That's just not the kind of vibes you want on your wedding.
And there is a 100% chance that during her speech, she's going to make that joke.
I love this comment. Someone says, re-invite her, but only if the best man makes repeated references to the terrible taste the groom used to have in women, what vapid girls he used to date, etc.
Oh, that is mean, but it's also very hilarious.
Or a When Harry Met Sally style toast. To Izzy, if Jake had found her remotely attractive, we wouldn't be here today. That's so mean.
That's honestly meaner than just uninviting her. Just re-invite her to the wedding so that you can then bully her back.
So Reddit is firmly NTA. No one needs that kind of drama on their wedding day.
No, you really don't, OP. It's supposed to be the most magical day of your life. And if you gotta strategically uninvite a few people to make sure it stays the most magical day of your life, I'm fully behind that.
Am I the asshole for uninviting my mom from my wedding when she kept insisting on my stepson not being there?
Okay, from the fact that stepson was in quotes, I wonder if your mom doesn't like the fact that you got close to this kid before you were married to the person.
I don't know why it's in quotes like that. Maybe just because it's not their stepson yet until they get married.
Either way, you can't uninvite your fiance's kid from the wedding.
It's a stupid thing to ask, I know, but my mom's been an important person in my life, and I'm not sure if perhaps I overreacted. I, 26 male, met my soon-to-be wife, Amy, 25 female, 7 years ago. Her son, Jason, was 11 months old, and she broke up with his dad already. I love Jason as my own son, and that's how I see him. He calls his dad, dad or daddy, and me, pa. My mom didn't like the idea of me being with someone who already had a kid with someone else. We fought about that during the first 2 years of the relationship until I threatened to stop talking to her if she doesn't accept Amy and Jason in my life. So she let it go and didn't bring it up ever again.
Until now, when it's, like, locked in, apparently.
I proposed 4 months ago. We're supposed to get married in March. My mom offered to pay for half of the wedding, and we accepted. The issue was my mom saying Jason shouldn't be at the wedding because it would be just as weird as if her ex was there.
Okay, that is a very strange opinion for your mom to have. Your fiance's kid is not going to become less of a part of your fiance's life once she gets married to you. Like, you don't just abandon the kid. That's not what a respectable parent does.
We were both confused by that logic. Jason's a huge part of our lives. It's our wedding, so of course he's going to be a part of it. That was a hard no from both of us.
Yeah, I assume Jason's going to be in the wedding.
Yeah, not just invited to the wedding. He's going to be like part of the wedding party because he's your future wife's son.
He's your future son.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, he already views this kid as his son, even though they're not married yet, because he's been there since this kid was less than a year old.
Yeah, so they're just making it official.
Mom tried to bring it up more times until finally she pulled the "I'm paying for your wedding, so I'm allowed to decide" card.
This is a big decision for mom to be trying to make when she's only paying for half.
That's the part that got me the most, is that she wanted to use the fact that she's helping to pay to keep our 8-year-old from being there at our wedding. I paid her back the money she gave us for the wedding and told her she's also not invited. Now she keeps calling, crying that I'm her only son and it would be heartless to keep her from being a part of this huge milestone in her life.
Is Jason about to become her first grandkid? Even if he's not, he's going to become one of her grandkids, and I don't like the idea of a mom that just wants to reject one of her future grandkids.
That's the thing. This is not one of her grandkids. It is not blood related to her. How dare you bring this stranger into her family?
Right. That is not an okay attitude to have.
Also, I wanted to point something out. It would be heartless to keep her from being part of this huge milestone in her life.
Oh my God, right?
You didn't even catch that the first time I read it. But this is a huge milestone in Mom's life. Her son getting married. How dare you uninvite her?
Right? Why are you living vicariously through your son to this extent? The crazy thing is, while you're trying to live through your son to this extent, you're also trying to make your future daughter-in-law just ditch her kid? You're not off to a good start here, Mom.
To her, it's not the same if Jason missed it because he's a kid, not a parent. My family is on my side about her going too far, wanting to exclude my son, but they do think I'm an asshole if she's not invited since I already gave her the money back, so she has no say in anything. I'm just so mad about it, and I don't want to see her after she tried to control things like that. Am I being an asshole?
No, you're not the asshole. There's a 100% chance that while you're taking family photos, Mom is going to try to push the kid out of frame.
Your mom is going to bully that kid at this wedding. Actually, probably for the rest of your life. I don't know. In my opinion, I think uninviting her from the wedding might not be enough. I mean, she is obviously holding resentment towards this child. And this is your kid. This is your son. You want to protect your son. Uninvite your mom from your life.
Right. This is just a sign of things to come, and it's very worrying. This poor kid.
I really feel like this is like an indicator that it might be time to go no contact with mom because this is how she's going to treat this kid for the rest of his life. And you don't want to have your son put up with that.
I can tolerate a mom being a bit of the asshole to her own adult children. I can tolerate a mom being a bit of the asshole to her daughter or son-in-law. Once she starts bullying literal children, though, you don't get any strikes.
Top comment. NTA, your mom is acting like a monster to a literal child. She can kick rocks. Why would you want such a nasty, hateful person anywhere near your son or your future wife on such an important day? You did the right thing.
You absolutely did the right thing. You put your foot down about the fact that you will not compromise that Jason is a part of your life now, and has been for quite a while.
My first thought was that I would never let her watch my child. If she acts like that to their face, imagine how she would treat him when it's just her. I'm not suggesting she would physically abuse him, but he definitely would not enjoy being around her.
No, from the way she's behaving, I wouldn't trust her to babysit. I'm not sure I would just leave her alone in the room with the kid if she's going to act like this. It's very unacceptable. I don't know a better word for it.
NTA, it's been nearly 8 years and she's still trying to push your de facto son, the boy she should by now see as her grandson, out of your family at every single opportunity, including the literal wedding of the parents who are raising him. Making him be around her at all, ever, or letting her be a part of anything your family does at this point is condoning her behavior and suggesting that she can continue doing this and you'll just put up with it. I do think that's a good point. Like, there need to be boundaries set. And I think uninviting her from the wedding to show her that there are consequences for treating your family like this is a good first step.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that you have to uninvite your own mother from your wedding. But it's one of those boundaries that needs to be set. Like, you gotta protect your kids. And the idea that you might feel bad and let her back in if she... Did she even apologize?
No, she has not apologized.
Oh, then screw her. What is the rest of your family thinking? If she hasn't apologized, she sure as hell can't come back.
Someone else commented, "Are you sure you don't just want to elope?" OP responded, "At this point, we're considering it." Laughing emoji. "Not just because of this drama, but wedding planning has been so stressful as a whole. LOL.
That's fair. I think I considered eloping like once a week while we were planning our wedding. It is stressful.
Yeah, and I'm like, God, so much money. Are we sure we want to do this? This is a lot of money.
Yeah, it adds up quickly, and then you're doing the guest list, and you're like, I haven't talked to this relative in over a year, and now I have to invite them because otherwise I'm causing drama in the family. There's just a lot of good reasons to elope. Not that I regret having a wedding.
No, I am glad we did it, but it was very stressful up until the actual wedding day.
Yeah, there's good memories on the day. Nothing went crazy wrong or anything. Also, I married a very lovely lady. I should mention that.
Oh, thank you. I married a very handsome guy.
So yeah, you're definitely not the asshole here, OP. If your mom is going to try to manipulate you into such a weird demand, then it's for the best that you cut her out. And the second that somebody starts trying to use money to manipulate you, they're clearly the asshole.
Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, go ahead and do us a favor and hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, it really helps us out, and it lets us know that we should keep making fun content like this for you all. Also, we just hit 15,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you so much.
We are just overwhelmed with your guys' support, and we are so happy that you are enjoying this channel. Am I the asshole for taking away my brother's +1 and inviting his girlfriend myself?
Who was your brother gonna bring if not his girlfriend?
I kind of know I am the asshole, but I need to know how bad it was. My brother is 29 and has been with Leah for about 2 years. We all like her. She is super nice. I am getting married next April and sent an invite to my brother's apartment. We decided to send invites to households and not individuals. For example, our aunt received an invite for her family and not for each individual.
I think we might have done that too, just to save on invite cost.
No, people don't usually send a separate invitation to each person in the household, but normally they'll put everybody's individual name on the one invitation for the household.
Oh, okay, so it's like the blank family instead of everybody individual. I gotcha.
Last Thursday, we met at my parents' place, and it was just the core family. While there, I asked my brother about Leah's dietary restrictions. I know that she is a vegetarian for health reasons and that she cannot have certain raw vegetables. He said that she wasn't going to come and that he was taking his girl best friend, Amanda, instead.
What?
Now, their relationship is weird AF. Amanda has always been stringing my brother along, in my opinion. He always denies having feelings for her, but let's be real here. Amanda would date other guys, blow off my brother, and then, when things were on the decline with her partners, she would be attached to him again. Her last boyfriend broke up with her right around the time my brother, his then ex-girlfriend, Amanda, and her ex were supposed to travel to Spain. What did my idiot brother do? Go with Amanda alone because Amanda was uncomfortable with his ex-girlfriend.
Oh, it's one of these friendships.
Obviously, he acted blindsided when his girlfriend broke up with him. I don't even say anything anymore because it's all so weird. So when he said that, I asked if Leah already had other plans, but my brother said that Amanda had asked if she could come because it would be an opportunity to finally see the old gang. We were all in the same friend group in high school. I told him that I would have invited Amanda if I wanted her there. Amanda is mean and cold. She always makes disparaging comments about other girls.
Wow, who could have predicted that Amanda was mean to other girls in addition to stringing along your brother like this?
At every event, around 1 hour in, she will make some sort of scene that either has her running away crying or sitting mad at a table telling everyone to leave her alone and then making a cryptic comment about something hurting her.
So, the whole wedding would be about Amanda then?
Sounds like, yeah, probably. Or at least Amanda would do her best to make it all about Amanda.
Right, I can't really blame you for not wanting to invite her, OP.
I told my brother I was revoking his +1 and Amanda was not coming to our wedding. He accused me of being misogynistic and bigoted because I don't understand opposite sex friendships, which is BS. My husband has a female childhood friend who is his best woman. I love her too, and she has been amazing. And she respects fucking boundaries. She always includes me and makes a huge effort when I started dating my fiancé to integrate me into their friend group. Anyway, I said my decision was final. He could take it or leave it. But I would be inviting Leah myself because I like her. He screamed at me and told me to keep out of his business. I said to get rid of his weird fucking feelings for Amanda. He is mad at me. My dad said that it is none of our deal. My mom is furious with my brother. So, am I the asshole?
And no, OP, you're clearly not the asshole. It's weird that brother isn't bringing his girlfriend to your wedding, especially because you have a relationship with his girlfriend. It's also not weird at all that if your brother doesn't want to invite his girlfriend, that you invited his girlfriend. Sounds like you're friends with her.
And it's not like this is like a recent girlfriend or anything. He's been dating her for 2 years. So like she's pretty well integrated into the family by now.
Right? It would be weird if she wasn't at the wedding. I don't want to say this next thing in like a way that sounds like I'm blaming OP, but you probably should have sent your brother and his girlfriend individual invites and just made them a special case, it sounds like.
She does have a little edit about that. To answer some questions, the invite was addressed to the Smiths. Funnily enough, Leah has the same last name as us. Granted, we do have one of the most common last names. And yes, they live together.
I can't decide if that's funny or weird.
Yeah, dating someone with your last name before you're married, I'd be like, we need to get a DNA test to make sure we're not related before we sleep together, just in case.
Maybe if your last name is Smith, it's not as weird for you because it's all over the place.
Yeah, my maiden name was super weird. If I met anybody with that last name, I would assume that we were related. So yeah, might be a little different if it was a really common last name.
And hopefully Leah agrees it's a kind of a funny little joke that you guys do.
But yeah, the sister invited the Smiths, which implies brother and Leah, because they are both Smiths.
It kind of does, and I guess I cannot blame OP for ever assuming her brother wouldn't bring his girlfriend to the wedding when they've been dating for 2 years.
And live together.
Right? Who else are you gonna bring? Amanda sounds like a destructive influence on your brother. We all know someone who has been with this type of manipulative person, or we have been with this type of manipulative person, and it never goes well, and it just destroys that person's chance at any kind of normal relationship for years.
Top comment, NTA, I have to think the bottom line is you don't want Amanda at your wedding because she causes a scene and brings negative energy. I think you are well within your right to say she is not allowed at the wedding. You can invite Leah yourself, but by the sounds of your brother's behavior, who knows if they will even still be together by then. Even if they are, I wouldn't count on her sticking around if he keeps prioritizing Amanda over her.
Yeah, sounds like either Amanda managed to stay away for the 2-year period, or Leah is very tolerant.
OP replied, I like Leah genuinely as a friend and would like her there. I should honestly just have invited her officially too. I should have honestly been able to foresee that David would do this. And then someone replied, at this point, David needs to be told that if he doesn't quit whining about this, OP's going to invite Leah instead of him rather than with him.
Yeah, and then Leah can decide who she wants to bring as a +1, and it might not be your brother.
Someone says, your brother is a major asshole, and I don't blame you at all for not wanting his side piece at your wedding. I also wouldn't blame you if you didn't want him at your wedding. OP replied, she can do so much better. On paper, my brother is pretty great. Amazing job, financial stability. He volunteers at animal shelters and cares about his appearance. And when he is not drooling for Amanda, he is generally really nice and loving. But bro, yeah, he sounds great, but this one thing, Amanda, is a huge thing, is a huge red flag.
The one thing I don't disagree on with that commenter is that Amanda is not your brother's side piece. Amanda is holding your brother's leash. Amanda is keeping him on the back burner for the day she decides to settle.
Yeah, that is a good point. That is what's happening.
Yeah, side piece implies that your brother has any kind of agency in this relationship.
He doesn't.
No, he's just being strung along. And I get it. That is a hard situation to get out of when you're being strung along like that because you often don't see it happening. The only thing you can do is just cut contact.
There is another edit. Amanda is in the comments. Say hi.
Oh no, she's in the comments?
The alleged Amanda comments. YTA, if he has any sense, he simply will not come to your wedding. That's the correct way to handle assholes like you. OP replied, yeah, I wouldn't mind, LOL. And then Amanda replied, alleged Amanda replied, well, if you don't mind your brother and dad not coming to your wedding, that's fine. But the way you handled it makes you the asshole. Not inviting your brother would have been fine. Giving him an invite, trying to dominate him and decide his relationships for him, and then uninviting his plus one because you want to decide who his partner is, that's overstepping.
I don't know. It sounds like OP didn't overstep, in my opinion, because I feel like a sister should have a certain amount of weight in her brother's relationships to say, like, hey, that person is toxic.
Yeah, and I don't want them at my wedding.
Especially, and I don't want them at my wedding. I guess because I have such a supportive sibling that if she ever told me, hey, dump that girl, I would give it a lot of consideration.
And then Amanda is in the comments replying to other people too, not just OP.
Okay, so she's going on like a warpath in the comments.
Yeah, someone commented, NTA, your brother is though. He needs a huge reality check. This chick Amanda sounds super problematic and toxic. And since it is your wedding, you are absolutely within your rights to decide who gets to be there and who doesn't. Hope your brother will realize how manipulative Amanda is and cut her from his life before she manages to destroy even more for him. And then alleged Amanda replied, all of that is none of OP's business.
Okay, I still haven't heard anything that, like, heavily implies this is Amanda, but it's a very unhinged opinion to have.
I think we know it's Amanda because, allegedly, Amanda did not create a throwaway account for this. She was just using her regular one.
Oh, no, okay, I assumed that she was using a throwaway account. She's just replying as herself?
Yeah, and the mods had to be like, hey, please don't go and harass people. It was not a throwaway account, but do not DM this person or harass them in any way. This goes against the rules of the sub.
Yeah, calm down. Don't bully people because of a Reddit post. Even if OP did take her drama online to get strangers' opinions, there's limits.
Okay, and then there is an update 2 weeks later. After the confrontation, I didn't hear from Leah or my brother for about 2 days. During that time, Amanda reached out to me upset about my Reddit post. She called me an asshole and insisted that Leah is not the only special woman in my brother's life. She argued neither Leah nor I have the right to be selfish with my brother's time, asserting that she existed before Leah or any of his girlfriends and would outlast them all.
Oh, that is just the most telling statement right there.
She ended with a presumptuous statement that she would surely see me at my wedding. I was fuming.
Yeah, I would too, because now you have to pay a security guard to be at your wedding.
Like, I can't imagine going to a wedding where I was so blatantly uninvited and unwanted.
No, I can't either. I barely want to go to the weddings where I'm wanted.
I chose not to engage with her other remarks, but instead sent her a clear message. Hello, Amanda. You are not invited to my wedding. If you want to see the old gang, please organize a coffee date when they're all in town. Should you appear at the wedding, you will be escorted out peacefully by staff or with police involvement. Please refrain from contacting me or my husband.
I mean, that's probably the correct message to send. Very formal, very thorough in her, please don't turn up because I don't want to deal with it on my wedding day.
Amanda responded with more emails, mostly vague threats and name-calling, and turned to Instagram to indirectly target me. She tagged me in posts, making my username small so people wouldn't notice me tagged, but would see it in my notifications. She also used an Ask Me Anything sticker on her Instagram story, where I'm pretty sure she asked herself leading questions. Highlights included questions like, what's the perfect outfit for a wedding? With a photo of herself and a dress captioned, this, but sadly I'll never get to use it.
Wow, she sounds exhausting.
And what is your pet peeve? Followed by a rant about nosy people who think they have the right to control others.
That is just a description of Amanda.
She flooded her story with sad quotes about no longer having a girl's girl. She tagged me in every single one. Of course, I screenshotted them all.
What's a girl's girl?
Girls supporting girls.
Ah, okay. Yeah, sounds like Amanda is not a girl's girl then.
She definitely is not and has never been. Some friends reached out when Amanda started spreading a different story, claiming I originally invited her but later disinvited her because Leah hates her and pressured my brother to do the same. The cool part? Not one person believed her.
I think at a certain point, your friends and acquaintances start to figure out this person's antics.
They know exactly who Amanda is after years of dealing with her.
Right. They're described as the old gang. Like, they know your antics, Amanda.
Many of our old high school friends have cut ties with Amanda, and the few guys who will still talk to her are more linked to my brother. They reached out to let me know Amanda was spreading rumors. The girls in the group blocked her after she vented to them, which led Amanda to start bombarding their phones. My brother panicked, thinking I'd started a campaign against her.
Brother, you gotta support your sibling.
More, you gotta support your girlfriend, but, you know.
You gotta support your girlfriend and your sibling. You're on the wrong side here, bro.
Speaking of my brother, he called and texted me multiple times, furious that I excluded Amanda and even blamed me for any harm she might come to. He went as far as calling our mother, saying Amanda was depressed and threatening never to forgive me if something happened to her. My mom advised him to call for a welfare check if he truly was genuinely concerned because he, as an individual with no training, wouldn't be equipped to handle such situations.
Sounds like Mom's sick of this.
And Amanda is turning this into the biggest drama she possibly can.
Yeah, who the hell is going to get on Amanda's side when she's actively trying to ruin Opie's wedding?
The biggest development is that my brother got kicked out of his shared apartment. Leah called me to say their relationship might not continue and that she might not feel comfortable coming to the wedding. I understood her decision and offered an open ear. We met for coffee and she recounted their ugly fight. Without going into all the details, Leah didn't hold back. She made my brother read every single text out loud between him and Amanda and sent a copy to one of her male friends who replied, "Leah, WTF, this is not okay."
It's good Leah has a support network that understands that's not okay.
Leah used this as evidence that their interactions were, at best, inappropriate and realistically an emotional affair. When my brother begged her to stay, she asked him why, knowing he would always choose Amanda. He swore he wouldn't, but his immediate response to a hysterical call from Amanda about me bullying her proved otherwise. Leah left while he comforted Amanda in another room.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do here, Leah. Good job.
Later, she texted him that he needed to move out while she was away. It's her apartment, and she didn't want to see him until certain conditions were met. Cutting Amanda out completely and seeking therapy to address his unhealthy patterns. The fight spanned 2 intense days.
As they do.
I'm like, at this point, Leah, I don't even know if therapy's going to help. Just throw the man away.
Yeah, I mean, that's up to her if she wants to try to work on it, but he sounds like he has a lot to work through.
That's pretty much it. It sounds convoluted like a soap opera, but my day-to-day life has surprisingly been calm. I think my brother really needs to mature and either commit to Amanda or realize he's being strung along.
Okay, commit to Amanda is not an option because Amanda does not want to commit to him.
And it just sounds like Amanda is toxic. No one should commit to her. It will not end well.
Yeah, it sounds like Amanda and your brother probably should not interact because they just snowball the crazy and it gets bigger and bigger.
Top comment on the update agrees with you. I really think that women like Amanda get off on having the power to blow up other women's lives and relationships. Otherwise, she would just date the brother.
Yeah, brother's a backup. She doesn't want to actually date him.
Would you like a cat?
He sure doesn't want to pick a spot, does he? But yeah, OP, you are definitely not the asshole here. Invite whoever you want to your wedding and ban whoever you want from your wedding.
Am I the asshole for uninviting my sister from my wedding after she demanded I change my wedding colors because they clash with her complexion?
No, I think that that's just one of those things that brides have full control over, and as a bridesmaid, you just have to put up with it.
I, 28 female, and getting married to the love of my life, 30 male, in 6 months. We've been planning our dream wedding for over a year, and everything was going smoothly until recently. My older sister, Sarah, 32 female, has always been particular. She's very into aesthetics and her personal image. She's also used to getting her way. When we were kids, she was always the golden child, and my parents rarely told her no. We're not super close, but we're on decent terms. I asked her to be a bridesmaid, and she accepted. I was happy to have her be a part of my special day. We decided on a color scheme of dusty rose and sage green for our wedding. I love these colors and they fit perfectly with our outdoor garden-themed venue. I sent out a mood board to the bridal party, including Sarah, to give them an idea of the overall vibe.
I mean, I kind of like those colors. They seem very spring.
A few days later, Sarah called me, practically in tears. She said the colors were horrendous and would completely wash her out. She has olive skin and dark hair, and apparently these colors are her worst nightmare. She demanded I change the entire wedding color scheme to something that would complement her better, like jewel tones.
Jewel tones sounds very broad.
It's usually like brighter colors, like think sapphire, ruby, and emerald colors.
Oh, okay. And OP is using like more muted colors like dusty.
Yes.
Okay.
I was shocked. I tried to explain that we had already put down deposits based on these colors, and it was way too late to change everything. I also reminded her that the wedding is about me and my fiancé, not her. She went ballistic, accused me of being selfish and inconsiderate, and said I was ruining her experience. She even threatened not to come if I didn't change the colors.
I mean, I guess she can step down from the bridesmaid's role if she really doesn't want to come. It's crazy as a bridesmaid to want to edit how the wedding's going.
After a few days of her relentless pressure and guilt tripping, I finally snapped. I told her that if she was unhappy with the colors, then maybe it was best if she didn't come at all. I uninvited her from the wedding and the bridal party. Now my parents are furious. They're saying I'm overreacting and being a bridezilla. They're accusing me of ruining the family over something as trivial as wedding colors.
Oh yeah, there is a reason your sister is used to getting her way, huh?
She is definitely the golden child. You're ruining the family over picking your own wedding colors.
Right, why wouldn't you just bend over and let the bridesmaid be the star?
Some of my extended family are also taking her side, saying I should be more accommodating. My fiancé supports my decision, but I'm starting to feel incredibly guilty. I'm also heartbroken that this is causing such a huge rift in my family. Maybe I should have tried harder to make my sister happy, even if it meant changing my vision. So, Reddit, am I the asshole for uninviting my sister from my wedding because she demanded I change my wedding colors to suit her complexion?
I don't think that the bridezilla definition extends to you picking wedding colors that you want and expecting the bridal party to wear them.
Right, that's not bridezilla, that's just bride.
Yeah, it's your day, and generally people in the wedding party are there to support you and will just wear whatever color you want because they're your photos. Everything in the wedding is supposed to make the bride and the groom the center of attention. So honestly, maybe your sister is supposed to be a little muted and in the background, like a good bridesmaid.
Top comment, NTA. You are starting a new phase of your life. Do it on your terms and stop letting your family's dysfunction shadow your life. Tell your parents that they have always favored your sister and she's now a 32-year-old spoiled brat who thinks that your wedding should be all about her. Do not back down. Your life will be the better for it.
Yeah, I think this is an opportunity to keep your foot down, OP. You already put your foot down. Keep it there.
NTA, and if your family considers wedding colors trivial, then they should be telling your sister to suck it up for something trivial. Additionally, she's the bridesmaid, not the bride. She doesn't get to have anything her way, to be honest. This day is for you and your soon-to-be husband. It is absolutely nothing to do with her.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an honor that you want this person to stand up there with you while you make vows to live the rest of your life with somebody else. You want the people that are the most important to you to be close to you and up on that stage. And it sounds like she just wants to be up on the stage.
There is a little edit. Holy crap, I didn't expect this kind of response. Thanks to everyone who shared their thoughts and similar experiences. It's been a huge help. Still feeling good about my decision, but family drama is never fun. I also want to clarify, she's not wearing the dusty rose or sage green. The bridesmaids are all wearing different shades of jewel tones to complement the decor. She wanted me to change the decor.
I'm sorry, so...
That makes it even more unhinged, right?
She was getting jewel tones like she wanted?
Yeah, she got to wear a beautiful jewel tone dress like she wanted that complemented her skin, but the decor, like the flowers and the centerpieces, did not match her skin tone and were terrible. It's her worst nightmare.
Who is trying to match their dress to the decor of the wedding other than the bride?
It's not even trying to match her dress to the decor of her wedding. It's trying to match her skin tone and hair color and her natural complexion to the decor of the wedding.
That's even more unhinged than I thought it was.
Another comment, NTA, this is so completely weird and random, it has to be true. And please explain to everyone why your sister threw a tantrum, and if they still support her insane demands, they can be uninvited also.
Yeah, OP, make your wedding a day that you will remember fondly, even if that means trimming the guest list down.
Am I the asshole for taking back a shawl my wife made for a bride-to-be after she was uninvited from the wedding?
Ooh, that's a tough one, because taking back a gift, even if they had a fight, it seems like asshole behavior. But also, your wife got uninvited from that wedding, so screw that lady, I don't know. And are you still obligated to give a gift, even if you're uninvited?
My wife Lena crochets a lot and often gifts it to friends and family. When her second oldest brother got married, she made the bride a shawl to wear over her dress in the evening. The bride loved it, and ever since, Lena has made shawls for everyone in her family getting married.
Wow, okay, so your wife must be pretty good at crochet if everybody wants one.
Now Lena's oldest brother, George, is getting married again. Lena doesn't have a relationship with George as he was abusive to her as a child. But if she has to see him, then she is polite but distant with him. She doesn't want to cut off the rest of her family because of George. I work with George, and while we aren't friends, we are friendly at work. Lena encouraged this when George got moved to my team and I was going to request a transfer, not wanting to expose Lena to George, as my team do a lot of get-togethers with our significant others.
This sounds like small town mentality. Like, you can't escape people you don't like.
So just be polite and grin and bear it.
Pretty much, because there's nowhere else to work.
As it is a family wedding, Lena's mom asked her if she could crochet a shawl for George's fiancé, and Lena agreed.
Oh, Lena, don't agree.
It was arranged that once it was finished, I would take it to work to give to George so that Lena didn't have to see him.
I get the grin and bear it mentality sometimes, but I don't know if I'd want to go to this wedding.
Earlier this week, the shawl was completed, and I emailed George at work to let him know that I would bring it in today as the wedding is tomorrow. Wow, she was cutting it close with the timing of this, though. The wedding's tomorrow.
Well, she probably really didn't want to work on it.
When I got into work this morning, I gave George the shawl and let him know that Lena and I were looking forward to the wedding. Come lunchtime, Lena called me to let me know that George's fiancé had called her and told her that she was no longer invited to the wedding, citing the place they are having the wedding and the reception at is too small for the number they have coming, so they have to make cutbacks.
So, now that they have the loot that they wanted, essentially.
However, I was still invited to the wedding.
You're not even an immediate family member. You're just married into the family. Oh, I guess you're also a coworker, but come on.
I was mad at this because they clearly only invited Lena to get the shawl, which to me is just rude. If they had asked Lena outright to make one, she probably would have done it because she loves to crochet. On my way out of work, I noticed George wasn't at his desk, but the shawl was. I was still mad that they had used Lena to get a shawl, and I just shoved it into my work bag.
Justified. Good for you, OP.
I left a note on his desk telling George that since Lena was no longer invited, the shawl and I would no longer be attending either.
I like that level of petty. I might have just let George think it got stolen, but no, I like signing your crime in this case.
On my way home, I told Lena what I had done and asked her if she wanted to go out instead, so as not to waste having a sitter. Lena was upset that I had taken the shawl, as it was causing an uproar in her family group chat where people were calling her petty because I took it back.
Her whole family sucks, and you should cut them all off. I can't hold it in anymore. What do you mean that they're all taking George's side? It sounds like George is a monster, from the only description I've received of him.
Lena wants me to give it back. I don't think I should. They don't deserve Lena's kindness. However, at the same time, I don't want Lena to be upset with me over George and a shawl. Am I the asshole for taking back the shawl?
I don't think you're the asshole. I don't think that family deserves Lena's shawls. It sounds like they're all awful. Every single one of them. And it really sucks that your wife, as an adult, is still trying to appease them all. I can't imagine making a shawl for somebody's wedding when I openly hate that person. Not openly, I suppose she's just polite. But internally hate that person, I still wouldn't make a shawl.
Yeah, I'm not putting my hard work into anybody that I don't like.
That is going to be the ugliest shawl I've ever made.
Top comment, NTA, I would have taken it back. It was extremely rude to uninvite your wife, but still allow you to come. No point giving the shawl back now. What's done is done. Someone replied, NTA, but Lena needs to stand up for herself and not be a darn doormat for her family. If they think it's fine that Lena gets uninvited, but thinks Lena is petty for you taking the shawl back, then why on earth is there still any contact with them?
Yeah, I really can't blame OP for standing up for his wife. That's just good husband behavior. Like, taking the shawl back was not even as far as you could have taken it, and I still wouldn't have called you the asshole.
Now, some people on Reddit were apparently a little bit upset with OP for doing this without his wife's input or permission.
I think it was a crime of opportunity. He didn't have time to, like, do a whole phone call. I don't think I would have called you. I'd have grabbed that thing and ran.
Yes, but now his wife is having to deal with the fallout, which isn't really fair. So some people were a little bit upset about that. So OP did make an edit. I have messaged the group chat letting them know that I took it, and if they should be pissed at anyone, then it should be me. But I would also do it again because no one gets to be a dick to Lena.
Yeah, I like that. Take the blame for your crimes. That just means you're a good husband. Add in a little comment about how you don't like how they treat her and you hate all of them. Burn this bridge thoroughly.
Okay, again, I don't think Reddit's going to agree with you because this is Lena's family. Maybe Lena should decide how to deal with them and if she wants to burn the bridges. But at the same time, it should be done. Yeah, do it. Maybe you just need to encourage Lena to burn those bridges.
You're right. You need to have a calm discussion with Lena about all the benefits of burning every single bridge with her family.
Someone else comments, is it too late to get George moved off of your team at work? I have a feeling this may cause work problems for you, especially if he invited the others that you work with. Has your wife considered therapy for her family issues? It sounds like she has spent her entire life brushing everything under the rug.
Those are valid concerns, honestly.
OP replied, unfortunately not. He's been part of the team for a year, though my manager is aware of the issues between Lena and George. She has been in therapy previously about it. She stopped as she didn't feel like she was getting anywhere, but I will suggest it to her again.
I mean, a second shot at therapy might be a good thing for her. Maybe she just wasn't in a good headspace the first time. But also, OP, I feel like just because he's been there for a year doesn't mean you can't talk to your manager about not being on the same team as him. Like, it sounds like things have escalated in that year, and you should not have to be on the same team as this asshole. And also, you want to get on top of this because he's going to go and bitch and moan to your manager about how you took something off of his desk.
So yeah, I'm going not the asshole. He was defending his wife against her horrible family, and it was a crime of opportunity. He saw his chance and he took it, and I don't blame him for that.
It was a crime of passion and opportunity. Good for you, OP. I fully support you in this.
Am I the asshole for uninviting my cousin, brother, uncle, and dad to my wedding over a prank?
Oh, wow, you're kicking everybody out. Okay.
I, female 22, grew up in a family where men prank and tease each other. Ever since my fiancé, Tim, 23, and I got engaged, my cousin, brother, dad, and uncle joked about running some tests to see what type of man Tim is. They've done stuff like forcing him to play chess 4 times in a row, secretly slashing his tires to see if he'd fix it himself like a man or get help like those lazy guys.
I'm sorry. The first prank, I was like, wow, that is a super lame prank. And then the second one is like, let's slash his damn tires.
I know, right? How is that a prank? That's just costing him a new set of tires.
Neither of those things were pranks. The first one is just like boring, honestly. And the second one is like, let's cut this man's tires. Let's cut his brake line next and see if he fixes that.
They'd ask him questions like what joke he'd like to tell his future mother-in-law, his opinions on abortion, Jesus, gender equality, etc. They also tested his fishing and hunting skills, overwhelmed him with hypothetical scenarios to test his decision-making abilities and mental strength. They called him slow and soft, but he has a medical condition, asthma, but they think he's making excuses. I demanded they stop, but Dad said this is just typical stuff men challenge each other with, and said that I was ruining the fun.
Okay, putting aside the slashing tires thing for now, the rest of the stuff they were doing does not seem extreme. It just depends on the time frame that they were doing all this in. Like, were they asking this rapid fire, like in one day, all of these questions, or was this like over the course of a couple months?
We never get more info about that, but It does seem a bit extreme trying to test him all the time like this.
Sounds like they don't like him.
No, he's weak and soft because he has asthma.
I guess the asthma must be awfully bad if they think it's going to affect anything, because I know plenty of people that have asthma and you can't even tell.
Last time they took Tim on a 3-day trip and hid his inhaler. He left them and returned in 7 hours and told me. I was seething after he said they admitted to hiding it as a challenge.
As a challenge. I've hidden your life-saving medical equipment as a challenge. Can you defeat this challenge?
I exploded on them when they returned. Cousin asked if little Timmy ran to me to tattle. I yelled at all 4 of them they are uninvited to my wedding. My brother freaked out saying it was a prank and they were going to give it back. Dad said they'll apologize if I insist, but Tim will have lost the little respect they've gained for him and in their eyes will always be the soft college kid.
Your family sounds like such little bitches. Like, you know that type of guy who's so overly manly that he just seems like the littlest bitch because of it? Like, everyone's gotta hunt and fish and kill things. And no, you're just like overcompensating and nobody likes you. That sounds like your entire family. I know plenty of guys that hunt and fish and are normal about it. Like, I don't understand this super manly, horrible attitude they have. They're taking blue collar to like an annoying extreme.
I called him and the others awful, then I left. My cousin is begging that we talk. My uncle has been quiet, but my dad is mad, and now he's getting mom involved to get me to reconsider this decision. But I keep refusing to reinvite them. Mom is saying I'm exaggerating and should let bygones be bygones and not let this ruin my relationship with my family. Am I the asshole for making this my hill to die on, or am I exaggerating?
Sounds like your mom is used to making excuses for your dad's antics. The range of things is not okay. Like, asking a ton of questions, fine. Like, taking him hunting, fine. Slashing his tires and hiding his inhaler?
Not fine.
Not fine.
Top comment, NTA, this doesn't sound like pranking, but more like bullying. Who slashes tires as a prank? Or messes with someone's health as a prank? They just seem like big bullies to me.
This is open bullying by a bunch of little bitches.
NTA, they shouldn't come. Their pranks went from wildly inappropriate to outright dangerous. They hid an inhaler from someone with asthma. Not only would I keep them disinvited, I'd go no contact completely. OP replied, truth is, Tim no longer feels comfortable being around them, so this is saying something. But he says he doesn't want to drive a wedge between me and my family.
That's a very mature thing for Tim to say. OP, it sounds like you are right to drive that wedge for him, though.
I was just going to say that. I'd be like, I'd be okay driving that wedge between me and my family. They sound like terrible human beings.
They sound awful, and you don't want them around. I bet Tim has a much better family that you can adopt.
Also, let's uninvite Mom from being like, let bygones be bygones. No!
Yeah, Mom's just going to bring it up passive-aggressively throughout the wedding that she wishes your dad and your brother and your uncle and your cousin were here. That sounds awful.
I like this comment. NTA for uninviting your dad, cousin, brother, and uncle from your wedding. But you are the asshole for making your husband put up with their antics for so long.
Yeah, I mean, depending on how extreme these antics were up to that point. Like, obviously the tire slashing one was unhinged.
Yeah, like, call the police on your family when that happens.
Or scream at them for a long time. Like, they're clearly not a supportive family, so you don't even want them.
I can't believe OP let this go on for so long. I honestly think everyone sucks here except for the fiancé who clearly felt pressured to get the family's approval. Toxic masculinity all over this story.
I guess so, but it is not a quick process to decide to cut off your family like this.
And it's also hard because she's grown up with this family. She thinks this is what all families are like. She thinks this is normal behavior. It's hard to realize that your family is toxic when it's the only thing you're used to.
Yeah, so I can't really put any blame on OP for dragging her feet about such a big decision like uninviting them from the wedding or cutting them out more of her life.
I mean, I blame her a little bit. She should have stood up for her fiancé sooner, but...
She got there in the end.
Yeah.
And I think a big part of it is up until they hid the inhaler, nothing was like physical harm. it was a lot of annoyance and property damage.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, tire slashing, it's not like physical bodily harm, but it's physical harm to his belongings, which means he needs to pay to replace them, and tires are so expensive.
That is true. I'm not trying to say that that's okay in any way.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I can understand you might be mad at them for a while, but not cut them out at that stage if that's like a first offense, depending on a lot of situations.
But yeah, I feel like hiding his inhaler was a line that should not have been crossed, and I'm glad that OP realized that, and like that was her line too.
Yeah, agreed. That was clearly over the line, so I'm glad OP's line did not extend beyond that.
One more comment that I like, they're quoting her when she said, "Cousin asked if little Timmy ran to me to tattle," and then later she says, "Dad is so mad now he's getting Mom involved to get me to reconsider this decision. So ask your dad if he's run to Mummy to tattle."
Yeah, what a little loser. Running to his wife to fight his battles for him, because his daughter is so mean and uninvited him from the wedding. I think you're completely justified, OP, in uninviting them from the wedding and any other boundaries you need to set up.
And I really hope that she does set up some more boundaries with her terrible, toxic family, and that her and her fiancé live a nice, happy life together.
Right. Concentrate on how good your fiancé is and how much better life will be if you just integrate into his family, which is probably a much nicer family.
That's our last story for this episode of Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet.
Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button and we'll see you next time.